The leader of Zimbabwe is former MDC Nelson Chamisa, who has since launched a new party, says South Africa must assist its neighbour to address its economic and political challenges. Chamisa says if not, Zimbabweans will continue to cross the border to South Africa seeking greener pastures and political asylum. He was speaking to SABC News International Editor Sophie Mokoena. Chamisa also called on leaders on the continent to address the current challenge of coups in West Africa.
Zimbabwe is broken. Let us fix Zimbabwe. To fix Zimbabwe, we need all Zimbabweans, but also we need the support and helping hand, the solidarity hand of the brotherhood of African brothers and sisters. South Africa, come to the shore. Help us resolve our fundamental issues. Don't bury your head in the sand. Don't have an ostrich mentality. Zimbabwe needs you. We also did what we could during the apartheid era to support the struggle for democracy. Help us help ourselves. Support the struggle for democracy in Zimbabwe. It's not about a political party. ZANU-PF has ceased to be a vehicle of the emancipation of the people, a progressive vehicle. No, we now have CCC, a citizen coalition for change. Support the people, support Zimbabweans. If you are not willing to support our movement, support the people. Support the people of Zimbabwe in solidarity at a governmental level, but also at the party level as ANC. Come and help us so that we fix your problems. You can't fix the immigration challenges or what you call the foreigners' challenges without fixing Zimbabwe. We will continue to have an ISO. We will continue to have a cesspool of trouble and challenges. It will continue to affect you. It will continue to be a source of acerbic policies that you need to be able to deal with. So let's go to consistency. Let's go to fixing Zimbabwe as the first point. Number two, we also need to be able as Africans to graduate out of this thing of being limited by colonial boundaries and beginning to, divide ourselves, hating one another, to say this is a South African. Who told you that the boundary at the river, the Limpopo River, is supposed to be the indicator of the division between us? We have one heart as Africans, one mind as Africans, one blood as Africans, one common destiny as Africans. Why are we forsaking it? For the Berlin Conference of 1884, which was actually the drawing of colonial boundaries by whites, who were, clearly as Europeans, dividing ourselves. We are blacks, we are Africans, we are whites in Africa. We have to come together, black or white Africans, to be united and say, how do we reconstruct ourselves? How do we fundamentally deal with the issues? Instead of really working on who is my neighbor on account of a foreigner who defined who should be a neighbor. We are neighbors, not by choice, but by geography, by history, by account of the Berlin Conference. We must be able to reason together. Come, let us reason together without pointing fingers at each other, but also having that handshake and say, what is the challenge? How do we go together and how do we solve it? Africa must be united. We must be talking about one currency. We must be talking about the language that is common. We must be talking about common infrastructure. We must be talking about making sure that we have governance structures and a governance culture that's uniform. Look at what's happening in Burkina Faso, Mali. The coup, culture is beginning to also erode and corrode the frontiers of democracy. We need to reverse that. We must not have big men in Africa. Let's have big ideas in Africa. Let's also put citizens at the center and not the politicians. We are giving too much power to politicians. We are also giving too much power to barracks. Barracks must be there to guarantee the stability of the state. We must also know that the bullet must preserve the sanctity and integrity and dignity of the ballot. That is supposed to be institutionally safeguarded at AU level, but also at regional level in terms of the various regions we have in West Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa. So we have organs that are able to respond to the existential threats that we face in our different spaces on the African continent.